Hello and welcome to the Hub Podcast. My name is Eric Berger, Director of Marketing for BetterGood, the maker of VolunteerHub. And today we're continuing our Client Success Series, and I'm speaking with Tawanda Rollins, Manager of Volunteer Engagement and Services for Freestore Foodbank. Freestore Foodbank is on a mission to improve lives by eliminating hunger in partnership with the community. Hey, Tawanda, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, I just wanted to say I'm grateful to have you here, and this is especially near and dear to my heart because I'm from Cincinnati. So, thank you for taking the time to join me and talk a little bit about your work as manager of volunteer engagement and services at Freestore Foodbank.
Thanks for having us today.
Yeah, so to get started, can you share a little bit about the mission of Freestore Food Bank and how the organization works to reduce hunger and increase access to healthy food across the Cincinnati tri-state area?
Sure. So the one thing that I love about the free store is that we try not to put a band-aid on someone's situation. So we strive to assist them in any means necessary. It starts with food. The conversation usually starts with food. And then we connect them to other resources, may it be through our agency or through another agency. And the goal is to assist them to become self-reliant, stable again in their life situation. So that's basically what it is that we do. We have two locations in Cincinnati. One is downtown, and the other is more towards the west side of town in Cincinnati. And the one downtown is the one where we have the wraparound services. They go in, they can shop for food. If they need help with getting their birth certificate, maybe in state or out of state, we help with that. If they need emergency clothing, may it be just for everyday wear or for work, for an interview or something like that, we can assist them with that. Then we also have case managers to help with if they're about to experience homelessness, which is the shelter diversion program. We can connect them either with their landlord to fund whatever the deficit is for their rent to ensure that they can stay into their homes. Then they are also, it's just not just paying for the rent for them, but it's also putting them in a 10-month program where we teach them budgeting and other soft skills that they help them maintain their housing once they're released from the program. We also have a stabilization program, which is for those that are may have employment, but have the barriers of not having enough or don't have enough for that first, second deposit for housing. So we assist them with getting housing that way, but they have to be employed. And they also are put into a 10-month program. And again, it's to help that once, we release them from the program that they can maintain. And we also have protective payee, which are individuals that were deemed from by Social Security Administration to have someone take care of their Social Security money. And what we do, we take the money, it comes to our agency, we take it and we pay all their bills, and then they are allotted whatever's left over. So that's what we do down at the Liberty Street location. Then our new location, which we opened in April of 23, is where I mostly is housed in my staff, is where we have our corporate offices, our also two workforce development programs. They're free to those that are underemployed or unemployed that may present some challenges with finding employment. So one is Cincinnati Cooks, which is a culinary arts program, which is it teaches them how to operate in an industrial kitchen. We also have a second course if they choose to take that as well. And it focuses more on fine dining. We also have a partnership with Cincinnati State that if they want to get into the hospitality field, that they can take classes and it will help them to achieve that goal. And then the other one is Lift the Tri-State, which is mostly Warehouse 101, also a 10-week free program to those individuals. And it teaches them how to operate in a warehouse setting. So it's logistics, it's forklift certification, all of the power tools that are in a warehouse that they may use on a daily basis. And then at the end of their 10 weeks, right before they graduate, they are tested, they get a serve safe certificate. Both programs offer that. And then they do mock interviews and they have employers come in and interview them for potential employment and once they graduate. So again, our primary goal and focus is not just providing individuals with food, but if they are really in a bind and they really need help and just need just that extra push or boost to get back on their feet, then have these other resources and programs to assist them with that.
Yeah, so you're much more than just food nourishment. You're providing holistic services to change people's lives.
That is correct.
That's amazing. And to kind of step back, what does your day-to-day look like as the manager of volunteer engagement and services, especially in coordinating volunteers across a large emergency food service network?
Well, what I do is I put on this juggling suit costume and I just, just juggle those plates around. But yeah, it requires a lot of organization and understanding what the program's needs are. And it's not a one and done. It's not, okay, once you get something set up, you can just leave it alone. We're constantly having to touch base with our different departments to make sure that they have the volunteers that they need and to adjust accordingly. So we look at ourselves more as the HR for volunteers because that's pretty much what we do. We staff. If they need assistance, may they be the volunteer or the team member or the department to help with those uncomfortable conversations. We do that. We make sure that volunteers are acknowledged accordingly. So we have Volunteer of the Year. We also participate with the Volunteer Appreciation Week. So my day to day is just a little bit of just a lot of touch base, hours audits, verifications of hours, a lot of meetings with departments and maybe volunteers, and just making sure that we have a robust volunteer program where volunteers get the best experience that we can offer, as well as making sure that it's not only beneficial for them, but also that we are addressing the needs that we have in our different departments.
And as one of the largest emergency food and service providers in Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, and Southeast Indiana, how would you describe the overall impact you've had across these communities?
I believe that a lot of the communities heavily rely on us and are very appreciative of the services that we provide. So our impact is strong and vast, and it's just a unique thing that the Free Store offers through these different communities. And also, when they say it takes a village to make it happen, that's what it is. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without community support. So we have, like last year, we provided 47.2 million meals to the community.
Wow.
Yeah, and then over 15 million of those pounds were distributed through fresh produce, and 6 million of the pounds were through our retail food rescue.
That is a lot. That's a lot. I'm kind of like in shock by that number of meals. That's wild. So to support your scale of operations, how many volunteers do you have to organize each year?
We do it by fiscal year from July 1st to June 30th. And last count, it was a little bit over 12,000 volunteers assisted us with making these things happen through our programs and our different initiatives and events and stuff like that.
Can you talk a little bit more about the roles that volunteers fill?
So we have two markets and they assist us with operations for the market. They're created and they look just like a grocery store. And so they help to restock the shelves and assist customers with their shopping needs. They help bag the groceries, assist them to their car with the cart, and load the groceries into their vehicles. We also have a lot of food packing activities like for Freestore Direct, which is fresh produce that's sent out to those individuals that are homebound. We have a relationship with different clinics and hospitals. Their primary care physician deemed that this person, we have to have a referral from their primary care physician, and it's basically saying this person is homebound. Can you please assist them with fresh foods? And so we have that goes out daily, Monday through Thursday. We have a partnership with Amazon that assists us with delivering that fresh produce box, and they get one weekly. They also assist with Harvest Mobile Market, which is a paid program. So individuals, customers can use their SNAP or monies, of course, at a discount for fresh produce that goes to those communities that are considered desert food communities. That means they do not have a grocery store readily within walking distance. And so we'll go out once a week to those places, and they can purchase fresh produce and some shelf stable food items. Then they also assist with, we have the clothing room, they assist with that. We have some skill-based volunteers that help with some clerical and then department projects, things to that nature. So we have a gamut of different volunteer opportunities, and I like that we have that, and also special events. I almost forgot about that. And they can pick and choose what they want to do. What I like is that we try to keep it as a volunteer experience where it doesn't feel like it's work, but it's not what they consider being an employer and being an employee type deal. So they can do one and done unless they want to be a skill-based volunteer. And I just think it's important with those types of opportunities where they could be here long term, that they know what the time frame is, and we still keep it flexible for them.
Yeah, and I'm sure that significantly improves engagement. And it's nice that it sounds like you have just about an opportunity for anyone that wants to volunteer that's in the, greater Cincinnati area. So that's really cool. I wanted to shift gears and talk about Volunteer Hub a little. So before implementing Volunteer Hub in 2015, what were some of the biggest challenges or inefficiencies you faced in recruiting, scheduling, managing volunteers? What led you to look into Volunteer Hub?
I've been here 15 years, and so they did not have a volunteer management system. First, it was everything paper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not going to work, because when people needed volunteers needed verification of hours, it was hard to find that, and because people move on. So that was one thing, and then the other was the management system that they were using. It was free, so you get what you pay for, and it just was not user friendly, and we had to do a lot of behind the scenes work to make it work. So it was decided, like, we really need to be able to, one, verify hours, two, for grant purposes, be able to capture hours, not only just for individual volunteers, but for our corporate groups that come in, so it was important to, and not only that, we were growing, so we needed to be able to have a handle on the comings and goings of volunteers, and to be able to actually report that in good standing and accuracy. So that's what led us to shop around and look for a volunteer management system.
Trying to like envision what it would be like managing thousands of volunteers on paper.
Oh my
That had to
goodness.
be crazy.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
And so since 2015, there's a lot of volunteer management solutions on the market. What has contributed to Freestore Foodbank maintaining that partnership with Volunteer Hub?
When it comes to the reporting and pulling reports and being able to capture and gather the information that you need when asked. And so most operate volunteer management systems. They offer just about the same thing, but what defines and what separates them is how you can gather that information when it's needed. And so Volunteer Hub is great with that. We are able to grab the information that's needed, and it's important. And with ease, it doesn't require a lot of work, as long as we're making sure that on our end we're doing those audits and make sure the information is in accurately from the beginning with the individual volunteers and with the corporate groups.
Yeah, and I think It's important for it to be friendly on the admin side, but it's also important for it to be friendly on the volunteer side. So, do you hear anything from your volunteers about ease of use of the platform? And can you provide any feedback as far as what they're saying on their end?
Yeah, they really like the fact that it's easy to use. We also make sure that, the questions that we ask are relevant to what's needed and not, get into too many questions. So I think they appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, we've not had most of the times that there is an issue is user error and not the system. But it's easy to be able to walk them through whatever that issue is, and they are able to like get in and do what they need to do. I also like the fact that it's self-intuitive and it keeps us hands off with it. That way, to me, it's still important that volunteers feel like they're volunteering and not, okay, I've just signed my life over to doing whatever with this agency forever. So I like the fact that it's hands off for us. It continues the experience from beginning to continual is up to the volunteer. I like that the information, I like the text feature, even though I haven't used it a lot, but when we did have the credits to do so, it was easy to do that. It's easy to communicate with everyone. So yeah, the customers, our volunteers love it. I've not heard anything negative about the system. It's great. I love it.
So, on a typical day, how does Volunteer Hub help your team stay organized and focused, especially when demand for food assistance is high? Because I know you mentioned that, I mean, obviously, since 2015, you guys have probably grown significantly. So, how has it helped you kind of maintain organization in those growth periods?
Oh, I mean, tremendously because like now, what I like is that we can, anyone that's in our database, we can send a mass email. And what I like too is that the email addresses are pretty current. Sometimes it depends on the person's security, on the volunteer security email setup. It may end up in spam, but for the most part, because the accuracy of the emails, we're not considered spam and they get their emails. And I like that feature. And I mean, it helps us to stay organized. It helps us to do all calls when we need, when we're short on volunteers or we have a new event coming up that they may not be privy to say, hey, we have this new volunteer opportunity, to sign up, which is, an email just went out earlier for that reason. So I mean, without it, I've been here the longest, and just thinking back to how the other volunteer management system was, we wouldn't be able to do what we do now without Volunteer Hub. I couldn't even imagine it.
I was going to say, do you think that those automated reminder emails, thank you emails have impacted retention or volunteers showing up?
Yeah, I mean, because the reminder goes two ways. It reminds them, oh yeah, I have this event coming up, but it also reminds them like, oh, wait a minute, something's happened in life and I need to cancel. So yeah, so reminder emails, the thank you emails, because what we attach to the thank you email is like a survey. Tell us how we're doing, how can we make it better? So being able to do those self follow-ups without actually doing any cold calls, it's very impactful. Again, it's hard to put into words because there's so much that goes on, but I couldn't imagine doing our day to day without it.
Trying to put myself in the place of a volunteer, and I know for me, I'm so busy like most other people. So without a reminder email, there's
Hmm.
probably a good chance I forget and I'm not showing
Hmm.
up. So
Exactly.
no shows alone, I'm sure, are impacted in some way from the reminder emails. And then, of course, it's nice to be thanked in some way or another
Yeah.
for giving your time.
Yes.
So I think you just answered this question, but when you think about your investment in Volunteer Hub, how would you describe its value?
Oh man, there is no price on it. On the return, like I said, to be able to do what we do with all the volunteers and all the different events that goes on daily, without it, I just don't know how we would do it. And it's reliable. You guys are really good at, if there is an issue, it's either already been posted that there's an issue, or right away that there's an issue and that you're working on it. It doesn't take long. It's not days and weeks or even hours. if there's something comes up that needs to be fixed. Yeah, I mean, and just user friendly for the volunteers. Like I said, if there is an issue, is more likely than not a user error. It's highly valuable for us to us, and we're appreciative of the partnership. In fact, I will tell you that when someone went to a conference and they were talking about this other volunteer management, I wasn't hearing it. I'm like, I don't care what you're talking about. And they say, well, just meet when I don't want to meet with them. I said, I don't want to do any of that. I'm fine. Thank you.
Well, we
Go
we
away.
love we definitely love that for sure. And since 2015, which is obviously a decade or over a decade,
Mhm.
you've seen the product evolve quite a bit. Are there features that have been added over the years, or new features that are on the horizon? And I think you spoke a little bit about this already, that you're excited about, or are there features that you haven't quite tapped into yet that you're excited about using at some point?
Yeah, the workflows. I like the fact because we have not been very good at celebrating birthdays or just sending an email to say, "Hey, it's your birthday, happy birthday," because we have so many people in our data. We have over 40 something thousand volunteers in our database, or a little bit more, but it's hard to, even if, because that's a way to, like, if they're one and done, or they only came because their corporate group made them come, just to being able to send out a birthday, happy birthday, I think it would help to for retention and also bring people back. I can't wait to really get into using it. Also, like, now that I know how to use the reporting, the new reporting, customization reporting form, I love that as well because it makes we do our monthly reporting that we have to send out, it makes it so much easier. And that's the
Right.
other thing that I mentioned. Anytime they want to start talking about, do you want a new volunteer management system? I said they're constantly upgrading. Why would I want to change when they're constantly upgrading? That means your company is in the business of upgrading and keeping your clients because you're constantly upgrading. Like, if you're doing upgrades, why would somebody need to change? Because you're pretty much tapping into anything that they may need.
And I think you provided a lot of great feedback about how you guys are using the product, but I want to, my last question, I like to bring it back to your organization. And so for listeners who are in Cincinnati or around the Cincinnati area, what's the best way for them to get involved and volunteer with Freestore Foodbank?
They go to the website freestorefoodbank.volunteerhub.com.
There you go. Couldn't be any easier, right? Tawanda, thank you again for joining me today and sharing your perspective on the product and also talking to me about Freestore Food Bank. I truly appreciate, based on what I've heard, all the work that you guys are doing in the area, and it's cool to hear how you're engaging volunteers and strengthening the community. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Eric. It's been a pleasure chatting with you as well.